Welcome to our video titled How to Make Career in FICC Desk. By FICC, I mean Fixed Income Currencies and Commodities. Those who do not know me, I'm ex-group corporate treasurer of American companies, and now I hold my own company in 3 countries. Guys, banking is an essence. Digitization or no digitization, banking is an essence. I'm not saying that the digitization is not hampering the jobs. It is hampering the jobs, but that is separate. But today we are not talking about the jobs. The world is led by top banks, and this is a reality. If we accept that reality, we would be happy. But if we do not accept the reality, we would cry. The top banks include Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Chase, Citibank, HSBC, Standard Chartered, Wells Fargo, Morgan Stanley, ANZ, Westpac, National Australian Bank, Bank of New Zealand, and many great institutions. I know that my next line would be offending many people. Indian banks do not hold any value. Any value. You take out the annual report of State Bank of India and compare it with a Goldman Sachs. You would get to know you are comparing Shimla with heaven. So no comparison. Simple. Now guys, when we speak about the big banks, they operate everywhere. So let's talk about Goldman Sachs. 3 top: Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and say HSBC. 3 top: Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and HSBC. They operate practically everywhere. Like if you go in US, Goldman operate everywhere. In Europe, Goldman operate. In Asia, they do. In Latin America, they do. Probably hardly few countries where practically business is not possible, they operate. But what do you think? What is the structure of big banks? How do they make money? Do you think that they make money by investing the depositor? What is the big difference between American banks and Indian banks? The big difference is the valuation. American banks are valued, and their European counterparts like BNP Paribas and other different European banks, they are valued at FICC, which is Fixed Income Currencies and Commodities. Basically FICC revenue. Like let's talk about Goldman. We are shooting video as of 25th March 2021. Which means after 5 or 6 days, this quarter will close. And Goldman, JP, and HSBC, 3 examples, they will start collating their books. Probably by end of June, they would declare their result. Market would look that Goldman, how much Goldman earn from the trading, which is nothing but FICC, Fixed Income Currencies and Commodities. If they would be earning more than what they earned last time, the share price will go up, the valuation will go up, the respect will go up, probably more niche investors just like Warren Buffett and all the other HNI, the family offices, they will invest their money in the Goldman. If if that FICC, which is fixed income, currency and commodities, fall, then the reverse would happen. But when we speak about FICC, bank needs a very strong skill set to handle this. What do you think? Is Goldman is taking position only in equities? No. Goldman is taking more extensive equities like equity swaps, investment banking swaps, buy and sell swaps, sell and buy swaps, buy now, sell later swaps, sell now, buy later swaps, ratchet equity swaps. When it comes to currencies, they take positions in forward contracts, options contract, swaps, swaptions, collars, floors, range, inverse collars, and whatnot. When it comes to commodities, these big banks take positions in gold, silver, diamond, platinum, and in a variety of instruments. They have separate teams who are handling these, instruments. Like there is a separate commodities desk. You open Bloomberg, you will see that they take interview of these banks. You will see Goldman Sachs head of commodities, Goldman Sachs head of equity, Goldman Sachs head of currencies. So when you say Goldman Sachs head of equities, that doesn't mean this person is completely ignorant about what the hell is happening in the gold, what the hell is happening in the platinum, why they are going up down because of Russia Ukraine war, and so on and so forth. He do aware about that, she do aware about that, but they are expert in commodities. Their job is to make money for Goldman in commodities. Similar is the equity piece. Similar is the currency piece. Like when we speak about currency, they knew what is happening in gold and silver, but their predominant focus is on the JPY, New Zealand dollars, Australian dollars, Singapore dollar, US dollar indexes, JPY option pricing, JPY range forward, and all these kind of stuff. Of course, he do know what is happening in gold. He do aware about what is happening in the share price of JP Morgan, their counterpart. They understand which investment banking deal is coming in the system, but their predominant focus is to make money from these instruments, currencies. And this is their forte, let it be honest, or USP, unique selling proposition. Bank needs lots of people who will help bank to handle this, which is in predominant language is known as traders. Now in the next video, I will let you know what are the various type of traders we have. But there is a big problem we have in the system. And this problem is being faced by American banks on a very often basis, which is called industry academy gap. Or note, they take people from big Ivy League institutions. I'm not deliberately quoting any name, but I can quote. They take people from Ivy League institutions. They pay them decent salaries. But unfortunately, that person, he or she, is not ready to deploy it. So example, you're going to Harvard. You are hiring a person from Harvard, MBA from Harvard. You cannot deploy him immediately. That's a separate thing. If he or she having any work X, then again a little bit of training is required, but you need to train him. You need to train him on Reuters. You need to train him on the Bloomberg, because the theoretical knowledge which they people are getting in the MBA institutions, it will not serve the banks. What do you think if Goldman is taking a Japanese yen position on a spot basis? Do Goldman take position of $1 billion, $2 million? Come on, guys. They take position in 100 million, 200 million, 400 million, probably a billion, maybe more. One mistake and it would have a losses in their books, because Goldman is accountable to the investors. He is accountable to the client. Multiple analysts of different brokerages firm are tracking the Goldman earnings. They need a very strong people who can handle FICC. And that's the bloody point. But the industry academia gap is now widening up. And there is a reason behind that, which I would be deliberating in the next video. Henceforth, before I conclude the part 2, one thing which we need to learn is that FICC, which is fixed income currency and commodities, this is the most important desk we have in a bank. Of course, when we speak about big players like Goldman, JP, Morgan Stanley, HSBC, Standard Chartered, the volume is very high. So would be the instruments. But having said that, volume and instruments are important, but more important is the skill set of the people. Probably in the next video, which is part 2, which is coming, I would be deliberating more on this piece. This is Rahul Magan from Treasury Consulting Group. See you in part 2.